Good evening, beautiful people. Welcome to our Civics Saturday Night Live. For those who don't know me, my name is Talia. I am a community organizer, activist, advocate, revolutionary, socialpreneur. I wear a lot of different hats, but I'm super passionate about community engagement and public policy. And one of the reasons I decided to create this platform is because every election cycle, we always hear that this election is important and every vote counts. But I feel like the biggest disconnect is we don't always know how, where, or why, right? So my objective is to raise awareness on these things and also to break down how politics does affect us every single day. So this session, I wanted to talk about war on drugs. So the war on drugs started back in the 70s, and it was something called the Contra Connection. The Contra Connection was a group from Nicaragua, which is a country in Central America. And so in 1979, their dictator was overthrown by a socialist group called Sandinista, right? And so the Contra's goal was to win back the power in their country. And so the Contras were actually backed by the president at the time, which was Ronald Reagan. So in 1985, the Contras had lost their military aid. They didn't have any funding to fund their military to try to fight to win the power back in their country. So they started to supply cocaine to the United States to be able to support their military. And so it started off with obviously having some folks who was from Central America that was bringing the cocaine in to Americans, powder cocaine. And so it flooded Los Angeles, California, and then obviously spread throughout the United States, right? And so one of the biggest prospects was a guy from LA, go by the name of Freeway Rick Ross, right? So obviously, LA is a city. Is a melting pot, very diverse. But this particular drug was hitting the Black and brown community. So Rick Ross and his crew, they learned after having a run with selling powder cocaine, they then learned how to cook it and make what was called crack cocaine. Crack cocaine came from cocaine powder, but it was broken down, cooked up, kind of, I guess, watered down if you shall, and it was a cheaper drug. And this was the actual drug that the Black and browns had access to, and it started to tear down our communities. And so all along, you have this drug, right, that was bought in by another country, folks from Central America. This group who was bringing these drugs in was supported by our president at the time, the government. And then they allowed it to break down our communities, right? And then on the back end, we had a lot of people, Black and browns, getting locked up for drug-related offenses. So if you kind of think about all of those factors, it was kind of like a setup in a sense. So today, when people wonder why it's so much mistrust in the system, or folks don't respect or try not to get involved in politics and the government, like, this is a huge reason why. And the reason I wanted to bring this tonight to our Civics Night Live is to put the memo out there to all elected officials. This message is for you guys. We elect you guys, we vote for you guys because we trust you. We believe that you're going to speak for us in an ethical manner. And so just think about all these things and all of these different officials that we did have that weren't for the people. And I just want to say that when you guys get in these seats, I hope that you do what you say you're going to do and help us as the citizens, as the voters, to have trust in the system if that's what you want. Because oftentimes a lot of officials, they have the right intent when they go in office, but then it's that power is what make people turn and start doing some corruption, right? And so that was my whole purpose of bringing that up in this session. All right, so I'm gonna let y'all go, but I just want to point out a few different factors before I go. So during this phase, this is when we had a lot of corruption amongst the FBI, amongst our cops, our law enforcement, because they were seizing drugs and seizing money and not turning it in. This is also when gangster rap of hip hop was birthed, because artists decided to speak up about the knowingly corruption that was going on with the government in our communities. And it made them angry, as it would anybody. As it would anybody, if that's your mom, your grandma, your siblings, your aunts, your uncles that's out there, and this drug is tearing them down. So that's when gangster rap was birthed. And yeah, so those were basically the last couple factors that I wanted to bring up to you guys before I end this session. So we appreciate y'all tuning in. Please catch us tomorrow for our Civics Sunday Night Live. If you have any topics that you want me to speak on, any questions, concerns, or remarks, please inbox me, send them to my DM. I do go live on Instagram and Facebook. So I appreciate you guys. All right, see y'all tomorrow. Peace.